Hello, Reverend Mike Warner here again today. And of course, what I'm going to be talking about today is cancer. And we'll be talking a little bit about a book. Does Reiki Love Heal Cancer? Subtitle is True Stories of Spiritual Healing. So, the first important part of this is to talk about the difference between healing versus curing. A cure is the complete elimination of a diagnosis so that the person is whole and complete. Healing is a process along a path where curing is the goal. So if you are going from Philadelphia to Pittsburgh, the arrival in Pittsburgh is the point where you reach the cure, where the journey along the way between Philadelphia and Pittsburgh is the healing, is the process, is the incremental developments and accomplishments as the miles tick away, as the process and days and time ticks away, and the minutes, the hours of the journey from point A to point B. And it's an important distinction to be talking about healing when we're talking about spiritual work. Because spiritual work is not a medical device, and not a medical accomplishment, not a medical diagnosis. Healing is a process of nurturing the person, of helping the person be soothed during their condition so that their condition does not worsen. Because, as we talked about a little bit before, a lot of people get so traumatized by the diagnosis, by the fear, by the identification of themselves as one who has cancer, that they get kind of stuck in the diagnosis and feel that everything's falling apart. You notice on my cancer glue books, I use the image of Humpty Dumpty. Well, not the actual Humpty Dumpty, but something that looks like Humpty Dumpty, because that could be the wholeness before someone gets cancer. And then they get that cancer, they feel like they fell off the wall. And all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Well, the name of a lot of my books are Cancer Glue for this and Cancer Glue for that. And that is the idea that we can't help to put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Because in each person who walks the face of the earth, there is a healing system that is designed to effectively put the person back together again. With the body determine what is needed, how to get there, and what medication or drugs or influences are there. Now, it's not like a hospital where everything's chemicals and what have you. The healing within the body is a natural process where the body emulates the goals, the processes, the steps along the healing path to effect a cure. Sort of like when you bang your arm or your hand and you cut open the skin and blood pours out. Well, the first thing you do is you put a Band-Aid on to stop the blood from pouring out. And the second thing is you put a little antiseptic on so it doesn't get infected. And then what happens? The body heals itself. Well, with cancer, it's not the blood that's leaking out in most cases. It's the vibrancy of the person that's leaking out, so to speak. And that vibrancy can be band-aided by love, by nurture, by peace and harmony and psychological support. And that's the kind of thing that we talk about in these books on emotional and spiritual support for the cancer patients. So the book I want to talk about today is the Does Reiki Love Heal Cancer? It doesn't cure cancer. It's a combination of the healing process and everything that your doctors and the healthcare teams from the hospital do to support you in getting yourself back together. You need to have belief in your healing in order to get there. Because the belief is what allows you to stay in joy, what allows you to think positively and move towards the healing that you want and the curing that will happen when all these good things that effectively work together to support you bring you to the destination. You can't go without the vehicle. You can't go without food and nutrition. You can't go on this journey without all you need. The most important thing is the care. The care is comprised of physical care, emotional care, mental care, and spiritual care. The doctor is very, very, very important. But if you only get the medical care without the emotional care and the mental care and the spiritual care, you will have a more difficult journey than is necessary. So this book is about this friend of mine from Toastmasters whose sister was diagnosed, and she called me and we put together a whole family Reiki course to support her. And we had the course within a few days of the diagnosis, and she was immersed in love, and she did well. She did everything the doctors told her. She asked all the questions in the world so that she could find out everything that she could do for herself. Her sister supported her during the journey, and she did well. And she was back to work in short order. And that's what the book is about, the whole journey, how she got back to work. Not only did she get back to the same job, she got back to a better job. Because the place that she worked was so impressed with her guts and fortitude and integrity in moving forward and continue to work and do a lot for the operation while she was not doing well physically. They were very impressed and very grateful. And the book dialogues the whole story and how they would go to cancer treatment sessions and get infusions, and they'd be giggling and carrying on, and everybody else in the area would be solemn, and they'd be like two schoolgirls, thinking about boys and all that kind of stuff. Because what you think about matters. And so I want you to think positive. When this book is free on Kindle, please look it over and learn about what happened with Joan and her sister and how Reiki helped her, and love helped her, and support helped her, and positive psychological reinforcement helped her. And it's a wonderful story. And after that, there's another story about a nun who helped this other lady who had problems. And it starts out with a dialogue of an Italian grandmother. And this lady was not a sophisticated person, but she was a caring, loving grandmother who took care of the whole family. She was the matriarch, and she delighted in spoiling everybody and what have you. But nobody knew that she was very intimidated by the healthcare system. And a big part of her problem in trying to get healed from cancer was that the lights and the people and the intensity of the people running around the hospital and all that, it scared her every time she went, and she couldn't settle, and she could not get where she needed to go. And then when she asked for help, she went to an order of nuns and met a student of mine, and the student was a Japanese national, and she went and did Reiki on this lady, and within 6 weeks, cancer was healed. Now, after that, the nun had been reassigned, and the lady got sick again because she wasn't getting the same level of support. And then eventually I had talked to the daughter and got permission to write a story about her in an audio tape series, and we did all that. And then by the time that was all ready to be shared, the lady had gotten back the cancer, and then I went to drop off a copy of the tape for them to hear rather, and I wound up starting to talk to them about their present situation. And here this lady had this big problem with her digestion, and she had not gone in a few days, and so I wound up giving her a little Reiki. And then I had a prior appointment with my mother for dinner, so I said, how about if I leave and go go take my mother to dinner, and then I'll come back and continue the treatment. And everybody agreed. And when I got back, everybody was delighted because the lady had had the bowel movement, and all the pain and everything that was causing her so much trouble that day was no longer a problem. So that continued for a while, and I gave her some more treatment, and she got better and better. Then all of a sudden, something else happened, and she lost the will to carry on with the treatments, and then she decided to stop. And then, of course, life progressed as the way it was going beforehand. And it was her choice. We all always have a choice of what to accept and not accept. So, and then shortly thereafter, she passed. But her life had been extended quite nicely. And so that's what that book's all about. Throughout all of my books and YouTubes and what have you, I want you to know that it's not a quick path for everybody. That there's some people that can extend their life substantially when they have the support they need, the love they need, and they talk to themselves in a way that allows them to process the powers that God had given them. So please know what I'm talking about. Please hear and look at and take good care of yourself in the process, so that the days you have are longer than you might expect, and the days you have are better than you might expect, and that you optimize the life that you've been given as you walk planet Earth. So that's the story for now. This is Reverend Mike, and I'm signing off, wishing you the best, and reminding you that I have a lot of books for you, and they're free. And if you look down below, you can see the Angel Raphael Speaks website, and then go to that Healing Presence tab there and find the books that you need for healing. And so it is. God bless. Goodbye for today. Take care.